Lagers, Pilsners, India Pale Ales, double IPAs, Doppelbocks, Belgian Goldens. That's right, it's all here on another round of Brewsday Tuesday. Here's Drez and Big Nate.
Yeah, Brewsday Tuesday continuing once again. Another round because we need it. More technical difficulties. We almost didn't even get on this segment, if you can believe it. There was even more stuff happening while we were playing that little ditty. But we're back. We're here. We're on. And we're drinking beer. And thank goodness I popped something that might make me feel a little bit better. From Edmund's Oast Brewing in Charleston, South Kakalaki, we have the Pillow Fort, which is a triple dry hopped New England style triple IPA.
That like checks all your boxes.
It checks a lot of damn boxes, including the high ABV. Obviously, with it being a triple, triple is, essentially imperial by nature, but 10%, we're looking at right here. And for those that just maybe we have the Facebook Live and YouTube working now, there is an actual Pillow Fort on there. It looks pretty glorious.
It's a cool label.
I do love this label. That's pretty good. Oh, and by the way, I forgot. It's not just Edmund's Oast. It's in collaboration also with Flying Machine Brewing. So you got to give credit where credit's due in that department.
And I've got the Salty Turtle Beer Company, Dank's Revenge IPA, 7% ABV on the nose. Oh my God. I didn't do that on purpose. So they've got their little description on the back. On the nose is the first phrase on it. Bright grapefruit and bold hops shine through in this West Coast style IPA.
So what prompted you to say on the nose? You can just smell it?
Well, no,
or it just
means
everything's great about it. Like it's
no, I was saying like 7% on the nose. There wasn't like a 7.5 or anything like
weird.
that.
Okay.
So I go right into the next sentence. It's a restrained cereal malt character. Complements citrusy hop bitterness and grapefruit bookends the finish for a pleasantly hoppy package. Now, I've not had Salty Turtle Beer Company before. I have had Edmund's Oast.
So yeah, Edmund's Oast, same here. So the Salty Turtle, if I remember correctly, and this is another problem with sitting on beer for a while, because A, you're not supposed to sit on beer too long. You're supposed to drink it. But B, I'm trying to remember what Eric said about the Salty Turtle. I think he just told me, he was like, oh, that's that. He must have mentioned it another time. So he finally brought me some to try. So I'm really excited to try that. That being said, Edmund's Oast, I know that we were out recently and went to a beer store when we went on a recent travel, which, by the way, I brought beer back from that. So we'll drink that eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, BB got super excited because she saw, and I even messaged her during the break because I couldn't remember what it was. I guess Edmund's Oast is maybe sort of known for doing more sours and stuff because she's definitely had a few and got excited. It was a peach and apricot sour that I guess she's had before and got super excited to see it again and ended up buying some because
it's a good combo.
It's delicious. But interesting enough, I was doing a little research and Edmund's Oast, originally it was just a beer store. Started back in 2008, back, kind of early on the craft beer scene, like when it was really just starting to kind of pick up. And it was started as just a beer store, and then they decided to put on like a little beer festival because they decided, hey, we need to expand, we need to do more of this. This is getting bigger and bigger. And then eventually they just were like, all right, well, let's just start brewing some beer. So they started to do that, I guess about, I think it said 2017, so 6 years ago. And they've been doing that ever since. So, and not only they've been doing it, but it seems like they've been doing it really well. As you would imagine, if you've been in the craft beer scene for that long, you have a high standard. And if you're going to be brewing beer, you're going to want it to be good beer.
You're going to make what you want to drink.
Something proud,
I mean, it's not entirely dissimilar to Salty Turtle. Two former Marines who like to hang out and drink together in Surf City and decided they were going to start a beer company, and then brought in someone who wasn't a Marine who could handle the business side. And
yeah.
But
So are they the ones? Are they brewing, or were they just
Yeah.
kind of okay? So
Yeah.
they're the guys making the
It
beer.
started as a like garage brew and then kind of just grew from there. But the thing I find most interesting about it is how much they lean into salty turtle. Like if you go to all the like about us and stuff on their website, it all like is just very much so like Ninja Turtle references and like
Nice.
turtle humor. But they also got this cool ass logo with the turtle where the shell is a hop bud.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So they've done their job up until drinking the beer. I don't know yet.
And if they're
I'm
big,
pretty confident.
if they're big turtle fans, I mean, because that was huge when I was a kid. So I would imagine they're probably even a similar age. If I had to guess, could be wrong. Maybe mid-30s.
Yeah, their bios,
late 30s.
Their bios actually have very little information about them. It's about their favorite Ninja Turtles and why.
Well, let's hear it. I will. I mean, pull up the bios, man. I know my personal favorite Ninja Turtle and why. Do you have a favorite Ninja Turtle? I think everybody that got into Ninja Turtles probably has one. You might be a little. Were you a little young for it?
Turtles weren't my thing. I was more into Power Rangers.
Yeah, Turtles.
I don't.
Turtles were the jam.
Like I can't even remember. So, who Michelangelo was the leader?
No, he's the party dude. Leonardo's the leader.
Leonardo's
got the swords. Michelangelo's got the nunchucks, which is kind of funny because I recently saw a thing that was like, it's funny how, the most kind of, I don't want to say dumb, but the one that they perceive as being just kind of like, go with the, whatever, has the most complicated and difficult, weapon. Because nunchucks wouldn't be easy to fight with.
No. I mean, there's a lot of risk to
you'll hurt
yourself.
You can hurt yourself with some nunchucks.
There are a lot of
There's no doubt about
bruised
that.
knuckles.
So yeah, Leonardo has the sword. You got Raphael's got the size.
Okay.
Right? That's what they're called. The trident look,
He
the
had
mini
purple
little
mask.
hand.
Correct?
No. Oh, come on. You're kidding.
Donatello had the purple mask and the stick.
And the stick, yes.
Which is a terrible weapon.
Yeah, he might have gotten the I mean,
this is Splinter's like, this is what we got left.
Here's a stick, Donatello. Oh, well, thank you, Splinter.
I mean, it's been so long. Like, I didn't watch the live action one until very recently, and I still don't really recall.
I have all of them on DVD, of course.
Oh, I've seen the OG. I'm talking the Michael Bay, like.
Oh no! I'm not watching that garbage. No, I never saw that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't like Michael Bay. I don't really like anything that he touches or does. So I certainly wasn't going to let him ruin Ninja Turtles for me. So I knew to stay away from that piece of garbage well before it even came out. So yeah, Power Rangers then, huh? So I will say this, because one of the all-time best video games, in my opinion, is Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo. That being said, less popular, but also big fan of that Power Rangers game that I have for Super Nintendo. That one doesn't get nearly as much credit as it deserves. That was a good game. I'm trying. By the look on your face, you never even played it.
I'm trying to remember if it was I had one on the Game Boy. It was the Fall of the Foot Clan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there was a couple.
But I don't think I played the Super Nintendo one.
Turtles in Time?
Oh, I played Turtles in Time.
I'm talking Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I don't think Power Rangers.
No, that was
just the one on Super.
Okay, then I have played it.
It's
been so long. Those aren't ones that I picked up like as an adult. Like I really just pretty much stick to Legend of Zelda.
It's pretty good. And the thing is,
and the Simpsons arcade game.
Oh yeah,
that kicked ass.
When it comes to Power Rangers, I don't know if I didn't really have a favorite, but in the video game, you're best off being the pink Power Ranger because she's got a bow and arrow. Was that right?
Yeah.
Am I remembering?
Yeah,
right?
that's also
so that's the easier way to kill people because you can do it from afar.
That's kind of like it seems like in any video game from that time period, they were big on girl power, and like if you play Super Mario Brothers 2 with where you Peach could hover.
Yeah, like she is definitely the best one.
Easy, like
that's true.
So it does seem like they did stack the female characters. Like Marge was way better than Homer in the Simpsons game. You have that vacuum cleaner.
Which Simpsons game?
I'm thinking of the arcade one.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't. I didn't play as much arcades. I didn't grow up in a big city like you did. I the only arcade I know is Tetris, but and as far as the Simpsons games, the main one I remember is Itchy and Scratchy for Super Nintendo, which again is a bit of a underlier. Most people probably don't really remember playing it, but I loved that game when I was a kid. That was a fun one.
One that I think is underrated and deserves a remake or a reboot is their version of Grand Theft Auto, Simpsons Hit and Run.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was a great game
That was
because
a good
I was
one.
A, really into the Simpsons at the time, and B, my parents were like, you can't have Grand Theft Auto, but you know what? Homer driving around, kicking people and vending machines and stuff. Apparently an okay substitute.
That one was great, and even I want to say it must date GTA 3, but Crazy Taxi, that was also kind of in that same realm of like the drive around, like
Simpsons had a version of that too. It was called Road Rage.
Road Race. So
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of when you were talking about. So, oh, that's a different one. I don't know. The
Road
other
Rage was
one.
the Crazy Taxi one, and then Hit and Run was their version of Grand Theft
Oh,
Auto.
I need to play Hit.
So you're like running around taking cars.
Was that on PlayStation?
Yeah, PS2 would have been on the
See, I'm a Nintendo
GameCube.
guy. I'm a Nintendo.
It was
Oh,
on the
GameCube.
That's what we have.
I don't have a
around.
GameCube, but I've been tempted to get one just because I know that you can get. So I have my Super Nintendo, and I can get the Super Game Boy, so you can play your Game Boy games on it. There's something similar. You can get a GameCube and play your Game Boy Advance games on it. I've almost got a Game Boy simply for that. In fact, if I was a bet man, I bet I could get a GameCube on eBay for like $20 at this point. Like that was one of those systems that just never really took off.
It was one of their lowest selling outside of the Wii before the Wii U. I know you can get. I know a website where you can get like a full on bundle for like $50, and you'll have like the Mario Kart games, the Legend of Zelda. Like you'll have like a pretty stock collection just straight out the bat. I'll have to dig up the link for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I
got my GameCube.
Yeah, I never
still had the box. Still had like all the original like box and
that's pretty good
wrapping.
That's pretty good. See, I stopped at 64, and I'm kind of proud of that.
I've owned outside of the Wii U every Nintendo console. I mean, I guess we can't really count the Game Boy Micro because if you had a Game Boy, you need it.
Well, that's not a console.
It's handheld.
So there you go.
All right. Fair enough. Then yes, I stand by that.
We went on a bit of a tangent there.
Let's go play some video games.
I'll tell you what, yeah, it makes me want to drink some beer and play some video games, man. But I will say this, man, this Edmund's Oast is delicious. I don't know. I was looking through my Untapped app, and most of the Edmund's Oast I've had on there were sours because it must have been with BB, and which that's not my style. So throwing those out, the other ones all had extremely high ratings, and this one is going to fall in that category as well. They are doing damn good things down there in Charleston. I'm going to have to hit them up next time I go that way. This Pillow Fort is just phenomenal. It's got everything you're looking for. Hopefully you can actually watch it now that we got the video going. The lacing is delicious, is amazing. The smell is fantastic. Everything about it, the body. This is a perfect triple. It's which by definition, that means it's a 5. This is a fantastic beer, and it's really hitting the spot right now.
All right. So Dank's Revenge from Salty Turtle Beer Company. Label. We'll give another 5 out for the label, but that's not going to be my Untapped score because West Coast style, not really my jam. I tend to prefer East Coast IPAs. Still very delicious, very solid flavor. There's nothing with West Coast. I feel like it kind of lingers in the back of your mouth for a little bit, and I don't necessarily love that, but there's a crispness to it, and it's got, you smell the grapefruit more than you taste it. As far as a West Coast IPA goes, though, it's solid. I'll give it a 4.5.
Yeah, grapefruit.
I love
West
grapefruit.
Coast. That's surprising. All right, well, there you go. That's a wrap on Brewsday Tuesday for this week. As I mentioned, I think we'll do it. I don't know. I'm backed up, man. I got a lot of beer we got to drink. We might even need to do like a double down Tuesday or something. But
Two for Tuesday.
Next week I might do it because we did just recently go out this past weekend down to New River Brewing Company. And and I brought back some beers. I wasn't even planning to because I already had so many shows, but the beers were that good that I wanted to do a show out of it. So I think that's what we'll probably do next. And then maybe I'll get around to those Richmond beers once I get back. It's going to be a crazy,
A lot of beer.
a lot of beer to drink. So keep it locked here. Brewsday Tuesday. Be sure to follow us on the Facebook Live. We do it Facebook Live when we can, when things are working right. And of course, you can feel free to subscribe and you can watch us drink beer on the YouTube. And we appreciate you listening and drinking beer with us. We'll take a quick break. We'll play some commercials. Then we'll play some tunes right here. 105 went through the bear. Stick around.